again.
What's up, everybody? It's me again, and it's I'm sorry. This happens every time we do a show. Danny and Sammy get kicked off, and they have to join back. I don't know what is going on.
It's a sign.
Okay, let me start over. What's going on, everybody? It's me again. It's time to lean in, bitch. Welcome to the Lean, where we discuss all things reality TV, recaps, news, you name it. I'm here with three of my favorite co-hosts, Jamie, Danny, and Sammy. Danny and Sammy are giving low budget per week. It's okay. Why do you think the app always do that to y'all? It's like every time we go.
I believe it's got something to do with HR. You put Jamie in that department, and
it only does it when Jamie's on.
So you think it's a
scheme
scheme?
Do it.
You think it's something that's playing? Let me close these blinds.
It's a scheme set up by Jamie. For the Lean to come to me with the bullshit.
See, that's what y'all get for ganging up on me earlier today in the group chat.
Not somebody. Chase said, "Woo, I thought we were stuck with just Jamie."
Chase.
Okay, well, welcome to the Lean again. We're here to talk about Real Housewives of New Jersey, and I'm just gonna be honest with you on my feelings. It was a very light episode. I felt like the first part was very explosive. I think we all said that last week. And we hope that it would continue the momentum. But just like all these damn 2-3 part reunions, there's always a part that's very lackluster. And hopefully this is the only part. But we still got stuff to talk about. Of course, before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you can know about all things that are coming up. Beverly Hills is tomorrow. I know a lot of y'all came to this channel specifically for Beverly Hills last year. Not saying other channels don't mean anything, but Beverly Hills is one of our biggest shows. So subscribe, like. It's gonna be a fun season. Jersey has been fun, and Atlanta has just got started. So yeah, subscribe and like this video. Hey Nushka, hey Chase, Taylor, hey JP Rob. JP Rob said not the binder again. Another form of it, child. You know, I mean,
but this was given good budget. She put some money.
These
high gloss.
No, the delivery was well.
It was the delivery.
Well, the delivery was well because also nobody cut her off either. She was able to finish what she said. She talked fast, and she did. She got it out. So kudos to her. But we're going to talk about whether or not it made any sense because that's where she lost me. Like being justified in her reasoning. So, all right. So last week we had part one. It was actually really good. It was very chaotic. A lot of talking. Andy was getting frustrated. He goes there again later. But last week we left off with Teresa and versus Joe's with a side of Jen. You know, Jen brought up the whole bitch poor thing, and Teresa basically chimed in and said, you know, you are the women's business. You know, you kind of are a little bit more involved. So, and at the beginning of this part two, Joe storms off, you know, like a housewife, the housewife that he is. He storms off and goes to the back. Teresa goes to the back. And, you know, he's just basically going to Louis. And it's just like, you know what? Don't get in the women's business because they're going to call you a bitch. Stay out of it. If somebody come with Teresa, don't get involved. Teresa's trying to talk to him. And basically, for a minute, she did call him a little bitch boy as well. But then she kind of retracted and said, you know, he wasn't one. I was kind of confused there. But Andy gets involved. And Andy rushes on back. And he's basically begging Joe to stay. That's what I got from it in so many ways. Like, he was trying to make it seem like Joe is very valuable, which I mean, to an extent he is, but very valuable in the situation and on this show, and that he needed to be there. Like, they didn't want him to leave or whatever. And I want to get y'all thoughts on it, like, because Andy really gave me how he chased Kim down in season 10 after they wore her out that year. But what did y'all think about like him going out to him and like trying to get him to stay and all this stuff like that? Melissa went to the back too, but she didn't get too involved. So I feel like Teresa would have popped up, but I mean, that's what I think.
It's interesting to see his reaction to Joe. And then when other housewives have walked off, he seems completely annoyed. Like Ramona will walk off, she's annoyed. Who walked off? Camille walked off, and he was like, "Girl, let me go fucking grab her ass." Like, but he was very concerned about Joe, which is I don't understand. I don't get it. Joe, his reaction was giving bitch boy. Like, he was throwing a fit. He was in hysterics. He was clutching his pearls. Like, girl, if you're not that concerned about it, don't be that concerned about it.
Right. Danny?
His reaction gives to me that I know you said it reminded you of Kim, like, you know, in season 10. But it didn't remind me of that because when he went out to Kim, he still kind of read her in that bathroom. He didn't read Joe, you know.
He read Teresa.
He
Oh,
read
well, that too. He did read Teresa.
Yeah,
he did.
Jamie, is that a carafe?
It's a beer glass.
Oh.
Do they not have them where you're from?
But I feel like sometimes Joe hates the way Teresa talks to him because I think he thinks that if she continues to be mean to him and she doesn't like him, I think he thinks eventually he won't be on the show because his sister, you know, she's the star. There's no denying that Teresa is Jersey, so I feel like he thinks if he's not in good with her, she could have a say in him not being there anymore. I think he's for some reason.
If that was the case, she would have been gone.
Yeah, well, that's true.
But I think she doesn't want to hurt her brother, you know.
But you know, he had something to say. He agreed. He was like, "Well, he's not in women's business." But I hear him say that to Peter when Nene said years ago. I mean, he really didn't. He didn't storm off either. But still, like it seemed like he was defending. You know, I feel like he really adores Joe.
And Joe
he must want a piece of Joe at this point because I don't know. It's giving favoritism, which he clearly doesn't like Teresa. At this point, I'm thinking the reason why Teresa is there is because of Joe. And I mean, I'm just saying, like, I think honestly, you know how we say Melissa is there because Teresa. I think Melissa is there because of Joe. Like, the way I saw tonight, that's just me. I don't know. But
and honestly, if they were smart, they would realize that Teresa's a sinking ship because she doesn't want to be there. Period. She's doing it just to collect an easy check. They would make up with Jen because at this point, Jen's kind of the show. She's proven herself this season by far to be a fan favorite. She gets involved with the drama. Like, girl, hit your wagon to that because she even said at this reunion, "I want to be here. I'm doing this for me." Like, make up with this bitch. She's your meal ticket.
Yeah. Now, how y'all feel about Jackie on the outside? You know, so now while they're in the back, the rest of the ladies are still on there because they were still filming. You know, I don't think it wasn't an actual break from what I got. They kind of stormed off. But Jackie was like, "Let me ask you a question, Jen, because I know you're a little different when Teresa's here." I'm like, "Uh-oh." I was like, "All right,
she's not wrong. She's not wrong." But Jen softened up right away. Jen was like, "I understand."
She kind of did. I mean, she really did. But she basically felt like, I mean, and then you had Mars jumping in. I feel like all the girls want to jump in and be like, "Yeah, she's right." Basically saying that when she's not around, and like, can she stop letting Teresa get in her head and make her do things, all the digging and stuff like that? That's what Jackie was essentially getting at. And Jen kind of received it, but I was like, I wonder what Teresa has to say about that. Because, I mean, they did have a little alliance on the stage when she was out there, but then now she's gone. Not saying they got in her head, but she was too receptive of it, in my opinion. She really didn't defend Teresa at all, which she kind of flipped back and forth when she does defend Teresa. Because one moment she is alluding to Teresa giving her and making her dig, or having her dig, and one moment she's basically trying to defend her. You know, I don't know. It was kind of a weird place I feel like Jen was in, but she definitely softened up.
Well, didn't she say when she responded to them, she said something like, well, she's not like that when we're actually just hanging out.
She said something about
a little bit. What is like that? That's what I'm saying. Like when she makes a statement like that, it makes it seem like she knows that she's like this kind of person. So, you know, it's weird.
Well, she said it. Her specific words was when she and I are together, it's not like this, but when she gets with you group of girls, it brings something out of her. So she was kind of basically telling them it's you hoes that make her act a fool.
Yeah, and then if you think about it, it's almost like Jennifer took what Jackie was saying as a compliment. Like Jackie was saying, she's really a good person underneath, and I would have felt insulted if I was Jennifer. You saying that because you're basically saying I don't have a mind that I'm a follower.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm surprised she did not get offended and kind of snap back at it, but I don't know.
Well, check Twitter because she could be talking about it right now.
Oh Lord, she might have thought the cameras wasn't paying attention no more because Andy went to go check on Teresa. You know, Jennifer wants TV moments too. She probably didn't think it was worth the argument.
I don't think she's a flip-flopper. Jen really wants to be friends with them. She's shown that. But I think she is just like Teresa's hype person. She genuinely likes Teresa. Her and Teresa have a genuine friendship because Teresa was just at her daughter's birthday party. Like, they have a friendship. So, of course, when they're together, she's like, "Oh, no, I've got my girls back."
And if you notice, even when they were saying that to Jen when Teresa left, as soon as Teresa came back out, they went right back to attacking Jen along with Teresa. So I mean, what is Jen supposed to do? Just sit there and take it because they made amends while Teresa was gone? At this point, it's back on. Like they're all the same. Teresa runs them girls. They ain't none of them gonna say it, but she run them girls.
If anything, I feel like Jackie was a coward for saying that while Teresa wasn't.
She was very weak. Jackie was so damn weak to me tonight. It was
because Jackie's been pretty quiet when it comes to Teresa, both parts. She's had a lot to say to Jen, and that upsets me.
Do you think she would have said that if Teresa was out there?
No.
She
said
may
it.
have said that as she may have said it as a response to something Teresa said. Which is, I mean, we've talked about this on the Lean In the group chat. Like we said before, Jackie's the only one that has the balls to go up against Teresa and not flinch. Not this reunion. Like Jackie's staying far away from her and only interacting with Jen, which I'm like, okay, that's kind of a punk move.
Well, she said she's scared of what Teresa would do. You know, it frightens her that she would, you know, what else she would do to her family. I'm like, oh, girl. Tony says Jackie is weak, literally. Yeah. She very weak. She said that she is eating different foods now, so I'm sure she's gaining a little strength.
She looks good. I will say she looks really good.
I think she looks fine. I wouldn't think that she was missing food or meals. I mean,
y'all so rude.
I'm just rude. Okay, so the question I wanted to ask y'all: do you think that Joe should get a pass, being that his wife and his sister are cast members? Does that give him a pass to be a little bit more involved? Because that's kind of what he said. Yes or no?
No.
Okay. I felt what he was saying, but he's like I've been saying for the last 2 weeks, he does get a little too involved to where he's coming at the woman. He can definitely defend his wife and defend his sister, but he comes at the woman. And it's kind of weird that he did have the thing with Jen, but he ain't really coming in Marge in any kind of way. Now that I look at it back at 15 episodes in, if he was doing that to Marge too, then maybe. But it's just like, it's weird.
It's almost like this show should be called The Real Families of New Jersey because they don't focus on the wives enough. They do too much with the husbands. Like they don't do that in every other franchise. The husbands might get 5 to 4 minutes an episode. These men get literally like a half hour an episode each time.
Oh yes, they do.
Which I enjoy it because I enjoy their camaraderie. But even like when Evan had that problem with what Jen was saying about him, he didn't address it with Jen. He brought it up to Bill and said, "Your wife said this." Bill doesn't get involved with any of the ladies. He voices his opinion to his wife, but doesn't talk with Marge, doesn't talk with anything. Joe literally has no problem arguing with the woman in her face about anything, no matter how old the lady is.
Teresa reads the other Joe to his face, and he doesn't say nothing to Teresa
at all. Yeah, he just says, "Marge, let's go," or "Let's whatever."
Yeah, he doesn't.
But he stays out of it.
Only Gorga.
That's a good point, Taylor.
But I don't think that's because of Teresa. I think that's because of Joe, her brother Joe. I think that's probably why. I think
Taylor made a good point.
Yeah, Taylor made a very good point. He said, did Jacqueline's husband act like this when 2 of his sisters were on the show? No.
Nope.
So yeah, you're right.
Minded his business.
Everybody else and a wife, and he did not.
It's like everybody else says no. Nobody else agrees. So that's cool. We ain't gotta talk about this long, but Dolores' situation with all her men is probably very. It's just I don't know.
Baby, she got diamond pussy. Dolores has diamond pussy.
She is a black woman. Of course, it's diamond. Black Dolores got black Dolores coochie because
she's keeping them men in.
I mean, they don't want to leave her life. I mean, it's just like what in the world.
Also, I mean, not just for her age, but she's a pretty woman too.
Yeah. No, she's beautiful, but it's like how like people get in relationships and they have these exes and stuff. She don't get rid of none of them, and they don't want to get rid of her. They want to be in her life.
She collected them.
Whether it's the mom, whether it's the husband, whether it's the house. It's just too much.
It's just too much. Shit.
Frank can't make nothing. But she also seemed like she didn't like the idea of Frank and Paulie's ex.
Is it Paul?
Either.
Yeah, she didn't seem to like that too much.
Wait, you said
Paulie's ex and Frank? She didn't like the idea of them dating.
But she got all her men around.
They miss her man, so she not sharing none of it.
My man. Okay, so we'll move past that. They get into a topic about parenting. They talk about Teresa and her parenting, and they mentioned that Rihanna, she gave a mention to Teresa. She liked that. Then they talk about, Jen, and Jen kind of defends her. She basically says, like, she doesn't really. They try to create some mess. Actually, I feel like when they come in, because they brought up Marge and how Marge and her parenting versus Jen's, and Jen was just like, listen, I'm glad she kind of wiggled out of it, because it could have went really ugly. It seems like Jen is really trying to not have an issue with Marge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This reunion. I mean, they kind of have a little small thing at the end, but she's like doing all that she can to not, even when all the questions are clearly trying to get them to beef, which I'm proud of her for that. But the one comment that sticks, you said what?
I feel like Jen is going for Marge every moment she can.
You think so?
You think so?
They're very passive aggressive. Oh yeah, kids are resilient. Like she's.
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
She did get it.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. That's
the
one moment where she did kind of directly go, because basically they talk about the comment that Marge made when Jen was crying, and then Jen throws it back in her face. And not only that, but Andy brings up comments and how her own kids did not like the comment and how it came off. So Marge kind of apologized and says she hates how it came off. But I did like that Jen threw it back in her face, because I thought that was a bit cold to say. I mean, in the moment, it was like, I don't know what I thought it was, but I just thought it was a bit cold, because kids are not resilient, and I could fix that. That's just not a true statement. So,
hearing Marge say what she meant, like, yo, in the middle of it, don't cry, don't worry about your kids. They're resilient. They're going to be okay at some point. Like, I can kind of get it, but also it's like, bitch, why would you say that? They're 5 and like 6.
What is I gonna say? Yeah,
they're not teenagers.
They're not. They don't even know what therapy is. Like, they're gonna be like, why am I here? Why am I not playing Xbox or whatever?
And I almost wish that they had spent a little more time with Jen as a mother, because even though she's annoyed me the last like 2 or 3 seasons, she actually really is a good mother, and the way she sticks up for her kids and checks in on her kids and really like mothers them. Like, she's a fucking good mom, and I wish that they maybe highlighted that a little bit more.
Can I ask y'all a question? I've been meaning to ask this. Sorry, Cortez. But is it just me, or do y'all notice this is the most opinionated and taking sides that I've ever seen Andy do? Like, Andy is really taking sides. I haven't seen him opinionated in a long, like,
you know what? I'm not gonna say nothing, because there was a point where it was happening on one of the black casts, and I was like, well, damn. So you know what? I'm glad that he's doing that, because he heard us talking about how he was doing it to the black women. I mean, how he was with Monique, and how he was with, who was that? The last reunion was it? Who was that? It was one of them damn reunions. I think it was the one with Monique, right?
Mm-hmm. Monique.
It was definitely that one.
Because Monique had to check him
about that.
Monique had to check him.
Right. So, I mean,
and it's like he going overboard this time.
He is definitely choosing sides. You can tell who he likes and who he doesn't. And
he don't want to lose Joe Gorga. He do not want to lose Joe Gorga.
I also think that at some point, like, if he were not to state an opinion on stuff, then women would continue arguing for hours in fucking circles. So, like, at some point, as a healthy moderator, you got to get in and be like, yo, she's apologizing to you. Like, you gotta hear it, or you did actually say that. But they keep the combo.
Sides are a little different, though. He's not doing that completely. He's like acting like if there's a question from a fan about a certain thing, he kind of digs into it. But so you don't think this, instead of letting them instead of taking what they say and running with it, he just kind of adds more to it.
He did that with Bethany.
He'll just
he did that with Bethany and Carol.
Like he gets fan reactions himself.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, I agree. Oh, come on, Doc. So Dollface asked a question. Y'all want to answer? She said, "Are we pretending Tracy never existed?"
Who's
Tracy?
She's Tracy? Next episode.
Only Tracy.
My girl,
Tracy
Queen.
Braxton. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Right. Oh, Tracy. Who is that?
Queen.
And you know what?
Queen of the Friends. Queen of the Friends.
Right. Look at Nooska. Nooska
a
said,
goddess.
Tracy. If y'all know who Tracy is, let us know in the comments. I don't think she was on this show.
I want Andy to ask her if she ever found out why she can't ask a question. Because she was pressed about that the entire season. That was her one line every episode.
Well, that's probably going to be so I'm guessing, does she come out with the husbands? Or what?
They didn't even show her in the preview for next week. I was so happy. I did not want to see her sitting in that chair in that drape. They didn't show her at all.
Looking like a Grecian goddess.
Ugh, she just looking like a damn fool.
Stop that.
I thought you even said like a damn old lady.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. Teresa's my girl, but I was exhausted when she stood up and did that cringy mirror.
Oh, okay. So that's what I was gonna say too. So it was a very silent moment, and she basically was saying that all of these rumors are coming out. All this is happening is because of it's her. She's Teresa, which I get what she's saying. She's saying I'm in the public eye. I'm a public figure. Like people are going to bring out stuff because it's me. But one, that little bodysuit thing is not cute, and covers the shoes
it's up and down, straight up and down.
So ugly.
She could barely walk in it too. Did you see how she was walking when she was going back?
That day.
She could barely walk in it.
It didn't sparkle. It didn't hit no light. Nothing.
It was like the low budget version of Nene saying, "Oh, y'all want to fire at me because I'm the one." That was the low budget version of that.
What mixed it with a little bit of look at the material.
It was Marge for me saying, "Wow."
I think
that
was
just
like started to dig at Marge.
Oh my God! But she did say that this did take me out. She said nobody would care if he was dating Marge. I was like, "Ooh,
she was right."
I thought that was cute, but the rest of it was not.
Yeah, Jen even told her, what Jen say? Calm down, sit down. She was trying to grab her.
She goes, these girls are going to eat me up over this. These girls are going to make fun of me for being your friend. Sit down.
Yeah, that was funny. What's up, Carlos? Other than that, Jackie, they do touch on Jackie and her eating disorder, and that's like I said, she's eating new foods, but that kind of turns into a fat shaming conversation, where they bring up any instance in which somebody's been fat shamed. Jen is throwing out times in which there was a tweet that she feels, what's her name? Jackie was fat shaming. Then they bring up a comment and statement that Marge says about you can't pick her up. She drunk. She not light. Which then turns into
she said not a lightweight.
Not a lightweight, right? Which I mean,
baby, I was like, Jen, you're reaching on that one.
No. Jen was on point with that. Jen understood that a lightweight drinker, but Marge was saying it's not like we were trying to hold her up. She's not a lightweight. Marge was calling
that's
that
what
lady
she was saying. Correct.
Marge was calling that lady.
Marge was not trying to.
Marge was not.
No.
Right.
She was saying that lady.
No, and I'm
she
glad
said that lady drinks a lot. She was
the
saying
only fat shame part. So of all those, are there any that you feel are true fat shaming comments? You feel like it was fat shaming?
Jackie was.
They all three of them. Jackie, Marge, and
all
Teresa.
Three of them was.
And Teresa.
Yeah, because
Teresa was definitely fat shaming.
He said she wasn't.
No, because even if Teresa made her sportswear for that reason, the delivery and the way she said it about Marge was definitely fat shaming.
Exactly. I love to see housewives try to get themselves out of shit because I'm listening to
and all
like
three of them tried. Jackie, Marge,
they all tried
because the longer you have to talk to explain it, the less believable it is.
Yeah,
I don't understand how Jackie tried. That was cut and dry.
It was straight to the point.
Jackie said, "Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. I didn't mean it that way, though." But she didn't even offer any explanation. She just said, "I didn't mean it."
Well, you know what? I'm actually relieved that no one talked about her and her eating disorder. I mean, nobody gave any dicks like that because if this had been Potomac or Atlanta, she would have got read. They would have got her.
And also another point too, Jen sat on that sofa and agreed that Teresa fat shamed too. So I mean, she's not just stuck up Teresa's ass. She said right to Teresa's face that she was wrong for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think Jen was trying to say she did. She just was saying that they've done it too.
No, for Jackie to say that she never, that she just blindly defends Teresa all the time and stuff. She really didn't at that moment.
Yeah. I mean,
I will say when Jackie was talking about her stuff, Jen looked like she was like having an emotional moment, like or connected with her. So I could tell, like, I feel like she does like Jackie. I feel like Jackie probably annoys the fucking shit out of her. Mm-hmm. I think that if Marge would cut her shit, her and Jen would probably get along very, very, very well. But Jen is one of those that she absolutely responds with the same, if not bigger energy than you bring to her.
And Teresa even genuinely listened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think they can argue, they can be petty, and at the end of the day, they don't got to be best friends. But I think that they know like certain things, like we're not gonna touch on that.
So I will say them all having that reaction, like you said, Cortez, like being not interrupted, not making fun of her. makes me believe that Tracy really isn't making this up. Like they've all noticed it and seen it. You know what I mean? Like I think it's genuine that it's clicking to them. Oh yeah, she doesn't really eat. Like I think it clicked for them. So that makes me believe it is real.
Yeah. I mean, that girl
I
said she
definitely think it's real. It's just a matter of, is it like, you'd think by now we would have heard of this by before now. Like what made her decide, okay, on the 12th season, after I've been here for a while, now I want to start bringing it out more. You know,
she talked about it her first season. Because she shared pictures of herself because she talked about it with her dad, and her dad was like, "Oh, you look so pretty now that you've lost some weight," and that was
she's like, "I almost died."
Yeah, like she's talked about Sammy.
I'm not laughing though.
I'm not laughing at that. I'm not. Jamie, why would you call my name?
Y'all send your comments and your gripes to @TheLeanBlog1.
Okay, we're gonna move past Jackie. TKC said he's tired of talking about Jackie. Me too, Tad.
Me too.
Oh Lord, TKC.
So we get to this part here where they bring up Jen and Bill and the infidelity, right? And so they, it turns back to Jen, and basically they talk about why Jen did not bring it up, why she hid it. Andy asks her, makes the comment and statement that people that come on reality TV, they typically come on without anything to hide because it's going to come out. Basically trying to ask her, and I think he does ask her, like, why, like, what was the story behind it? Apparently, Bill wanted to hide it. Bill wanted to lie and say it wasn't true. Jen wanted to talk about it sooner, but then she thought about her children. So her children, she decided not to bring it out. And I wanted to ask y'all, like, and they asked them this too, and only Teresa and Jackie raised their hand. Do you think an infidelity is the end of a marriage and or relationship? See, I'm asking y'all this.
I don't think it's the end.
Yeah, I've been in both situations. It just
I think
communication
it's
is the bigger
circumstantial.
one.
I think it's circumstantial.
I'll be honest. For me, if it was just physical, I don't think it would be in. But if you have an emotional connection to somebody else, then it probably would be the end for me.
If it's one time, or did I find out you was fucking this person for like 6 months? Were you having a full-on affair, or did you just like?
Did it stop because I found out? Like, would it still be going if I didn't know?
Yeah. That's different because you've been lying to me for an extended
with no intent to stop.
Yeah. With no intent to stop. Yeah.
Yeah. I see. Taylor said it depends. So like it's situational and depending on what circumstance. I believe. Teresa and Jackie said no, and I'm like,
we know Teresa a damn lie. Jackie
I know Teresa a damn lie for one.
Damn lie. I'm surprised nobody brought that up.
Jackie too.
Stop that.
I was just confused. Jasmine said cheater, pumpkin eater. Grow up. Grow up.
Welcome to the chat, Jasmine.
Huh?
Grow up and tell Jasmine to grow up and get her young ass up out of here.
Oh, well, he's watching. So Brady said it depends, but we also have to remember Jen was 9 months pregnant when she found out. Circumstances does have you thinking. Yeah, I mean, I applaud Jen for trying to protect their marriage, but you can't really. I mean, at the end of the day, it's gonna come out. Marge said that she knew. She said that it was going around this office, child, as if Marge worked at the damn office. Did Marge work there too?
Well, no, this came out last season. Whenever they really got into it about Marge's affair, or when was it? The season before. There was stuff circulating on blogs that Bill had cheated years ago. So there were rumors. It just never got.
I'm saying Marge made it seem like she worked at the desk next to the cheating lady.
Well, what she said was Jen got ready to come on the show, that somebody was like, this girl's getting ready to come on the show, and her husband. So and nobody denied it, which makes me believe that they all probably heard that same information, but nobody mentioned it.
That was very telling. That was very telling.
The part is that these people don't realize when Jen first came on the show, she would have had a table talk with the girls. Girl, Bill cheated on me years ago, and I had to get over it. It would have been talked about in that moment and been done and moved on.
Because they wouldn't have known her.
So you think she did more harm by not saying anything?
Yes. People can't. If you put it out to yourself, people can't hold it against you. That goes with anything to me.
Yeah.
Well, shit, I don't know, because Marge put her stuff out and Jen been hammering her ass. That's
projecting.
Right.
Yeah, that's projecting.
Okay. Well, that was answered, and then we get to Jen
editing for
so what?
sorry, editing. The producers tore up Marge tonight too with all them flashbacks.
The flashback of her.
Let's say he going back home.
Joe had to go home and wash her scent off before he went back to his first wife, the original wife.
Not the original.
And she was mad at that. He was hot. Like she got really upset. I thought they was gonna file it. I'm like, they might have to file it again, child, because I mean they talk about all these things that happen in what's it, the after show and stuff like that, and all these things that Jen has said and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, girl, you still put it out there. I mean, you can't really, why is she truly get mad at this point? If you put it out there and somebody throw it in your face, why are you really getting upset? You know? I don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
They found out because of you.
Get upset, but you put it out there. Obviously, you should just say nothing then, because obviously you're not as comfortable with it as you assumed you was when you put it out there. So sorry, Marge, I couldn't really side with her with that. And you know they're gonna talk shit in these after shows anyway. It's just gonna happen. So
I think she was more upset because at that time her and Jen were actually getting along.
Yeah,
so
or maybe
that reignited their feud.
Yeah, true. Okay, so then we got Jen and Melissa, or Jen versus I ain't gonna say the Georges, whatever they are, because it's just Melissa, and this is where Jen wants to explain how it got to the crooked comment. So she goes behind the couch, she pulls out these receipts, these nice little, they were really, really nice quality. Yeah, I could read them. I was like, oh, and she basically says that this all started after the reunion last year when she had just got her nose job done, and they were making comments underneath the post at her. And then Melissa proceeded to go to her page to make another comment, and then she wrote her comment responding that the crooked Gorgas or whatever. And basically, she's saying that all this happened, because she was being attacked, and by being attacked is because she was, stitched up, just getting her nose done. And
I didn't follow that.
I didn't follow that.
I was like, girl, you couldn't have just said, I responded to this bullshit she told me. End of period.
She circled the block 3 times to end up where she started.
And I think what she was trying to say, was the medication had her just like, fuck it. I think that's what she was trying to say.
This is my thing. If she had said something like, I had just had another kind of surgery. I don't know if that surgery. I see what she was trying to say. She was trying to say like, oh my God, I had just got, my fibroids or something. I was under this, but no, that wasn't the case. She literally had her nose done. She was fine. She was in a little pain, but she chose that pain. So it's just like, girl, stop looking for sympathy in that moment. That's just me.
And then she shares that picture of herself, like, oh well, now, girl, you just threw a picture of yourself out there.
And she kept doing it. She brought it back and kept
throwing that picture.
It was a good delivery because she was confident in it. She didn't waver. Like, she still made you buy what she was selling. She just didn't have to circle the block 4 times. I think timeline. Yes, started because of this post.
Yeah, she got her point across. Yes, that was.
Taylor said she should have lied and said she had. I agree. It should have been something to where something that was out of your control.
Well, she did. It didn't settle right at first.
Well, she didn't know that.
It was ugly. It wasn't no complication.
She didn't know that it didn't settle right. It wasn't a complication. It was an issue with the tissue.
Y'all are rude. I mean, at the end of it, I was on her side because one, Melissa did start that shit, and then two, Melissa has turned this whole narrative that she called her husband crooked. No, what she said was your crooked family. She didn't call Joe crooked. So, I don't know why you're mad.
Melissa's nose, because it's crooked.
From Joe Giudice punching it many times over the couple of seasons.
I agree, Taylor. Taylor said she should have said, "I almost died on the table," something like that. Maybe.
Sammy, say it again. Huh? Say it again, Sammy. I almost died.
Not Wendy should take notes. Oh, what kind of notes? Because Wendy work look good.
Not the work, the flash card.
Wendy's was
it was just her whole. She took it out and was real stern with it, and then it proved nothing. It was like, what are we doing here?
It was on card.
At this point, I'm expecting to see receipts on every reunion now, some kind of form. It seems to be the new norm, and honestly, I'm tired of it.
Jen had the best
stuff that we have available. I don't want to see things you have available, and I don't want to see things that are from text messages because I can easily falsify a text message. I do it all the time. So I'm just saying. Hey, Chad.
Wow.
Oh, you did used to post those.
Hey, Chad. So yeah, that I didn't catch what happens next week, so y'all can tell me what happened, but that's pretty much all that happened in this particular year, unless I missed something. Did I miss anything? I don't think so. No. Right. Pretty lackluster.
I think
okay. Last week was good. This week was okay, cool.
Thank God Jen was there.
I know that
Jen. I'm in love with Jen now. I think I'm Team Jen.
I've been Team Jen from day one.
Well, that's when Jen was on the wrong side.
What made you Team
Jen?
Jen
on the right side.
What made you Team Jen now?
So closer to the end of the season, she started to become very rational. Like she got some type of sense about herself. So she was honest, but she never backpedaled on how she felt or what she did. She was just honest and she owned it. And then as for tonight, how she really stood up. I was starting off last week actually. Like she just was not taking shit from them girls. She was straightforward, but it didn't come off like, I don't know. It just wasn't nasty. It was just something about her whole delivery last weekend and today, her proving her point and standing her ground just makes me appreciate her as a housewife.
Because to me, it's like last season she was like a Barking Chihuahua the whole season.
She just did not.
And it's like this. She was a woman to me, standing her ground, and she was more grown and mature to me. It seemed like.
Yeah.
In previous seasons, she's been the one to start the shit, whether it was warranted or unwarranted, and just continue to go at it. This season, just like Sammy said, it seems like she got some sense about herself and was like, all right, like I'm going to hold my shit and do what I got to do, but y'all ain't going to say I started anything.
I do know,
I love it.
I do know, Cortez, that I think we have to stop having faith. We say it every season that we have a 3-part reunion. We got to stop having faith that the second one is going to be good. And
we got to stop having
second together.
Somebody said on Twitter earlier, whoever created 3-part reunions, they need to be sent out of the office, and I agree. We can do this thing too.
But I also feel like Bravo started doing 3-part reunions when they weren't able to film as much during the pandemic, and they had to stretch out to keep for programming.
The drama
Atlanta started
in. It has not been that damn good. We 2 parts. We can go back 2 parts, and then when the drama reached the peak again, because right now we ain't getting out there.
They started 3-part reunions like back in Atlanta season 5 or 6 when the drama actually
it was
qualified 3-part reunions. And it was them and OC and New York.
So I know all y'all say y'all are Team Jen. I'm still not Team Jen, and I see 2 comments that basically not Brent. They said and the fuck. All I'm saying, dang, I'm just saying that I'm still not there yet, and it's for these very reasons. Nushka said she was embarrassed. I do think the fact that Marge wore her out with that rumor coming out, I think she kind of humbled herself because that was a big knocking down. I feel like she's gonna go get back to that, but it was all happening so soon, so it was better for her to align herself with everybody than be against them because they was gonna knock over constantly. Antonio says the same thing. Similarly, says when Marge knocked Jen upside the head with the affair, she had common sense. So I think as of right now, I want to see next season and then see how she acts. I can't be Team this.
Yeah, I will agree that made her have some sense about herself. But even still, after all those things, they kind of went back at her a few more times, and she went back into. And I think whichever way they wanted to take it, Jen was going to be willing to go. So I mean, I think the affair humbled her, but I think if y'all want to fuck with her, she's gonna still.
She's funny too. She's really fucking funny.
Yeah. Do you think that she has potential to keep the show going? You know what I'm saying? Let's say Teresa does leave. Can you think? I feel like, whereas I'm not Team Jen, I do feel like she has what it takes to keep it going. If she bring on somebody else and stuff like that, I don't see many other girls lasting without. She has enough to her. I think she's.
I enjoy her family dynamics more than anybody else on the show. Her mom, her little gay brother. Her kids are fucking adorable. Like her parents got drama. Like I'm down. And plus they're what? They're Lebanese or Turkish. They would be the first like Turkish family that it would be focused on. I'd be down for it.
I actually thought about that when Teresa walked off and they all kind of wanted to drill Jen. It was like, yeah, she next in line. All the attention was on her at this point. So I
feel like she's like, I don't know if you may not like Jen, but I feel like she's like the Portia of this franchise. Kind of like,
in what way?
Well, because she's rising up to be a
fan favorite.
No, like she is. Is she? I will say this season I've seen more people start to either like her more or like her than any other season before. They kind of feel her to be a little bit annoying from what I've seen in the fandom. But this season, even y'all, like you, kind of proven that she's on the way on the rise up. That's just me. I don't know.
And you can't deny that at a point. There was a point where that was happening with Portia.
It was a point where, and then she kind of, but look at Sammy.
I mean, everybody else on the show this
season. I'm just waiting on the season where Candy rises up. But
oh Lord, never.
She flew above already. Y'all
baby, she flew out and died.
Candy's spot will always be secured, but Candy has never been like to me
the girl.
Sometimes when you're that girl, you don't have to do that much to be that girl. That's why she's just
right there. Keep saying it out loud.
Oh my God.
I mean, hey, ask Bravo.
Let me put this link in here. We talked about everything we need to talk about. I'm gonna send the link for a few call-ins. Because overall, still a good episode, just not as high as last week. Like Danny said, I think we got to stop, giving all this damn hope for these 3 parts to be 3-part worthy. But yeah, it is what it is. Get the comment. If you want to call in for a few moments, I put the link in the chat. But if not, we will lean out because
Lisa, where are you? We miss you.
Lisa joined in yesterday.
Damn.
Yeah. You don't watch other shows you're not on? How dreadful.
Well, as I was telling Danny, I got busy last night and rearranged my entire bedroom. Rearranged the whole thing, remounted TVs on completely different walls. I'm losing.
Give us a tour.
Just X out and come back in, Jamie.
Okay. I'll give y'all a tour.
Well, it looks like we don't have any call-ins today, so that's fine. It wasn't worthy anyway. The episode was blah. So thank y'all for watching. Of course, go ahead and hit that like button. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills starts tomorrow. I'm actually very excited. While also I'm a little tired as well. It's gonna be a long child. Huh? Oh Lord, Jasmine. But it's gonna be fun. So be sure to catch Beverly Hills tomorrow, right when it goes off. Same like New Jersey. Start of a new season is gonna be good. Atlanta is up. New Jersey's going on. I think next week is the last week. And like the video and subscribe for other updates on what's going on with the channel. Thank y'all for watching, and y'all have a good rest of y'all Tuesday. Thank you, Jamie, Sammy, and Danny. All right. Good night, y'all.